Good day, my viewers. This is Extreme News. Mr. Arafumbechi, let's look at this narrative about 1966 coup. The narrative out there have been that this is an Igbo coup.
Yeah,
but surprisingly, IBB's book, talking about his autobiography, have come to set the Lagos street. Yes. How do you feel as an Igbo man?
Yeah, as an Igbo man, I feel vindicated. I felt the way I felt the day I read about Nigeria. You know, first Nigerian coup. You know, led by the revolutionaries, the young army officers, the youngest revolutionaries. There are many. Hassan Kassina, number 1, followed by Chukuma Kaduna and Zogu, number 2, and some others from other tribes. That was in 1980s. When I read it, I was very, very happy and vindicated. And since then, I started having or noticing this kind of animosity against the Fulani, the Hausa, and other, you know, ethnicities in Nigeria, who actually came out to say it was an Igbo coup. And since 1966 till then, the Hausas, the Fulani, Janjawis in the north have been, you know, accusing the Igbos of leading the coup that actually, you know, pied or, led to the death of their forefathers. I mean, Tafawa Balewa, I mean the Sultan of Sokoto, that's Tafawa Balewa, then Saddam Sokoto, that's what's the name of the other man? Ahmadu Bello. And so on and so forth, that it was the Igbos that lead the coup. They actually accused Nzogu. But I know that what I read about Nigerian Biafran stories, you know, about as in the war by Freddy Forsyth, it was all Nigerian coup. But the accusation that the coup was led by the Igbos, that the Igbos, you know, kill the Hausas, kill Fulani, kill Yoruba, they didn't kill Igbo. I was shocked because I read the book, how the coup was orchestrated. The division of labor in everything in life, there must be a division of labor. And actually there was a division of labor there. Because there are people that were sent to go and execute the axis of north. I mean the part of the coup. There are people that were sent to come to southwestern Nigeria to execute the coup. There were people that were sent to the southeastern Nigeria.
Now let me bring this angle.
To execute the coup.
Let me bring this angle because Hannes Igbo came out the other time to ask for 10 trillion compensation. What is your position?
My position about the 10 trillion reparation or, you know, compensation is that Ohaneze has failed woefully. The lives of Igbos in 1966, 67, 68, 69, who lost their lives, who lost their uncles, who lost their brothers and sisters, their mothers and fathers, could never be equate 10 trillion naira, even up to 100 trillion. The lives of Igbos matters. Look at the mutiny, the killings across all the barracks in Nigeria. They were all Igbo young officers. The other tribes, in conjunction with Fulani, you know, merged together, made sure that they eradicated, bloody eradication. Let me use the word extermination. The entire young Igbo military officers across all the barracks of the country. They were all killed. The amount they mention here, if you ask me, is too small. And there's no amount in life of money one can actually trade for life, human life.
Okay, now, in the absence of asking for money, what do you think should be done?
Yeah, what I think that should be done is actually the unitary system of government, 1, 2, which is something as regionalism. 3, then the confederation. That is a situation whereby everybody control their resources, then answer their name. Then we have a central name or central government that, you know, will be taking care of the allocation that is coming from other regions. That is either 10% or 13%. That is when Nigeria will be okay. But when you talk about the current political leadership, the current way, we are getting it wrong. What is happening currently in Nigeria? Nigeria is not getting it wrong because a situation whereby it's only the Fulanis since 1966 have been the head of government, followed by Yoruba. Only 2 of them, 2 tribes have been rotating it since 1966 till date. And let me tell you, the coup we are talking about in question that was Igbo coup. It wasn't Igbo coup. The reason for that coup was to make Awolowo Nigerian president. And you should remember that then Awolowo was in Calabar prison. Yes, but after the coup, Ojukwu actually released Awolowo to come to Southwest and declare Republic of Oduduwa. Actually, Ojukwu understood that where Hausas, the Fulanis, stood then was Araba. Araba in Hausa language meaning secession. Secession in Igbo language meaning kekewe. In English language, just division. And the Igbo man was fighting and working hard. That was Dr. Nnamdi to make sure that the whole Nigeria the whole Africa, everybody go their separate way. That is after colonial era and become a nation. And this time around, let me tell you, it was only Awolowo was the reason for 1966 coup.
Somebody is advocating that it is the British that should pay any reparations. Is it because they are the one that created that wrong narrative through the media?
Yeah, the amalgamation of 1940.
No, I mean the wrong narrative of Igbo coup.
Okay, the narrative of Igbo coup was British that BBC announced it that it was Igbo coup. Then Fulani Janjaweeds, because of the kind of hatred they have for the Igbo man. Igbo nation, Igbo man, Igbo religion, Igbo tribe freaks Fulani out. Anytime they hear Igbo, I mean Fulani man, it is as if you stab a Fulani man with either dagger or jackknife. That's why immediately BBC made an announcement that it was Igbo coup. They orchestrated the trouble that we have today in Nigeria. See, let me tell you, the British you see is an enemy of African nationalities. Britain and France is the reason why, after era of colonization, African continent is still boiling. African continent has been thrown into this chaos when British left African continent in the 60s. Because they are the one that came out and made that announcement that it was Igbo coup. Just 6 years after the colonization of Africa, they had then went to the UK. Now they wanted to cause trouble. That's why after the orchestration of the purge, BBC, they had to announce to the world that it was an Igbo coup. Actually knowing that if they made that announcement, the whole country will explode. And actually it exploded against one tribe. Millions of other tribes went against one tribe, Igbo. A coup that was for Awolowo, a Yoruba man, was actually baptized by BBC, British Broadcasting Corporation, Igbo coup. That station, that establishment, that country, the UK, they are the ones supposed, at least, they are the ones that are supposed to pay reparation to the Igbos. You are right. Actually, British should come and compensate Biafra for the damages, the havoc, the wreck in the Igbo land.
Now let me bring
54 years ago.
Let me bring this angle. Somebody said, yes, it's established that Nnamdi Kanu is a British citizen.
Yes.
Somebody saying they are not satisfied that the British have not done enough for Nnamdi Kanu.
Yes, British man has this kind of, let me say, inborn hatred, abhorrence for Igbo man. Anything Igbo, anything Biafra in Africa causes British man sleeplessness. Yes, Nnamdi Kanu, for instance, in our modern world today, not 56 or 59 years ago, I mean this modern computer era, Igbo man is an enemy of the British man. Why? Nnamdi Kanu, obviously, everybody knows, is a British citizen. But when he was renditioned from Nairobi, Kenya into Nigeria, Britain distanced themselves. They distanced themselves since 2021 till date. They are not doing anything. They have not been able to resume any session in the House of Parliament over there to discuss the issue why Nigeria should abduct a man with British passport. Nnamdi Kanu was with British passport when he was abducted from Nairobi, Kenya into Nigeria. Yet, British government has not done anything about it. They have never held any session in regard of Nnamdi Kanu or Dale in Nigeria today. While Kanu is enjoying British, naturalization, still, yet the British government currently and in the past previously turned their back on Nnamdi Kanu. They have not been able to do anything. That will spell many things in the regard of what BBC made as an announcement. Immediately, the coup of 1966 was foiled. Okay,
now, Mr. Arafumechi, let me bring in the angle of United Nations. We understand that United Nations Working Group on Arbitrary Detention told Nigerian government emphatically allow Nnamdi Kanu to go.
Yeah,
no, Nigerian government have not obeyed that directive, but yes. Do you think UN have done enough?
UN has tried. Yes, administration of Antonio Guterres, the former Portuguese Prime Minister, who is currently the Secretary General of United Nations Organization. The member nations are ganging up this time around to know how to force Nigeria to actually let go of Nnamdi Kanu, who actually has not committed any offense. He was freed by Supreme Court. The ruling of the Supreme Court has been violated by Nigerian government presently under the administration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
No, I think the court of appeal.
Court of appeal. Anyway,
set him free.
Yes, in the first place, he was freed during Buhari regime. Buhari said it wasn't on his own command. It shouldn't be on his own instruction that Kanu should be freed. He said everything is with Abubakar Malami, the then Attorney General of Federation. Then currently we've seen how Kanu was set free by the court, and still the office of the presidency, I think, what is his name? Asorok said that it wasn't their own, responsibility to do that. That you have the politicians in the southeastern Nigeria that Nnamdi Kanu, they were against Nnamdi Kanu's release. All these are 50 excuses. Yes, given by this administration under a Yoruba man. A Yoruba man actually freed his own brother, Igbo. Tinubu is from southwest, Igbo is from southwest. Why after freeing Igbo, Nnamdi Kanu was not freed?
Do you see that as a double standard?
It's a double standard. It's the highest ethnic, divisive, let me say, issue, raised that has ever sprung up in the recent time in Nigeria. Freeing someone from your region, the same offense he committed, the same offense someone from my region committed, you freed only your brother, leaving my own. It has made Tinubu the worst tribalistic, the highest tribalized, Nigerian president ever in history. And he has not, at least, kept the legacy of Baba Awolowo. I know it could be that Awolowo is Nigerian president. What is good for the gander, Awolowo should give it to the gander. What is good for the goose, Awolowo will actually adhere it to the goose. But today we've seen how Tinubu actually played it out. That Tinubu, is an anti-Igboist. Because Tinubu should have at least allowed the court rulings to be affirmed. Rather, he turned his back on the rule of the law.
Thank you very much. I think this is a good place to let you go.
You are welcome.
Thank you very much. This is Extreme News.
You are welcome.